Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. It's your girl Toya T. This is actually a Lyft video. Yeah, I've actually made another one so soon after the last one I did. This one I thought up of today because I actually did some Lyft driving today, even though I've cut down a bit since the school year started for me, and this is actually my first week of full classes because Monday was not a holiday like it was last week. So I did some Lyft driving after my class, and I drove from 3 to 7. And on my first Lyft ride, I was asked to make a super long ride that took about, like, I feel, maybe it took an hour. It took an hour, and the cost was like $58 for that one ride. But I was riding underneath a guaranteed hours of $25 an hour, between $25 an hour for each hour that I drive. So I definitely made more than those hours. But what I wanted to ask and put out there, especially for Lyft drivers, and this can be for Uber drivers and sidecar drivers and whoever just drives, which ones do you prefer? Which do you think is better? Would you rather have a few long rides that take you longer to get someplace? And, you know, usually when you have long rides, that means that it's usually outside of the coverage area. So that means that you're going to be spending a long time coming back from that area and not possibly getting any ride requests. In my case, I didn't have that issue because as soon as I drove out to Peabody from Framingham, Massachusetts, and that was supposed to be a 40-minute drive, but with traffic, it was an hour. So we spent a lot of time in traffic on the highway. And at the end, it was a $58 ride. And then soon after I dropped this passenger off, I end up getting another ride request and another ride request, and eventually my last ride request brought me back into the Boston area, closer, like downtown Boston area, closer to there. So in all, with just 4 rides, I ended up making $118 in 4 hours. And that was all from a mixture of long rides, 2 long rides and 2 short rides. So I had a balance of both, but I was thinking, like, is it worth it to do those long rides? I mean, I spent an hour in traffic, an hour. And if, you know, usually depending on what time you're driving, I was driving, I guess, around the rush hour, it could be you're burning gas and you may not be able to make the money having to drive back. So I actually prefer shorter rides unless I really don't feel like driving. And that one long ride, you know, that $58, if I was just like, you know what, if I was driving more often and I got $58 for one ride, I would have just turned off driver mode and gone home. But since this was the only day that I planned to be driving this week, I decided to continue. From where I was, I continued for the expected amount of time that I was doing, and ended up, you know, with another longer ride. And you know, my goal was to make $100, but I really do prefer the shorter rides, because even when I was driving last week, when I was driving pretty much the whole entire week, pretty much, I would make $25 an hour or more. With just a couple of short rides, and usually short rides within the city where you're just dropping someone off and then pretty much turning around and picking up someone else like a block later and dropping them off someplace close, so that you're not spending a lot of time in traffic and people aren't spending like a serious amount of time in your car, and you're still making money and have the opportunity to not be driving as much, because you are driving but you're stopping a little bit more than if you are taking one long ride. And long rides can be kind of awkward too, so depending on who's in there with you, some people are talkative, some people are not so talkative. Good thing I have my radio on to keep me sane during the traffic hours. But I really wondered what other Lyft drivers thought about it. You know, I just think that it's more economical to do shorter rides, but that doesn't mean that you should turn down long rides, because I did make $100 once in one long ride. with also because of where I picked the person up. So it was like prime time and the length of the ride. I got $100, boom, and I was done, which was awesome. But then I also had to take an hour ride back home, which, you know, it's fine because I made $100, but you know, it can be for some people who are doing this full time and, you know, are trying to pay their bills and rent and all that stuff with doing Lyft or Uber or ride sharing or whatever. I can see how that doesn't make sense because you're burning a lot of gas and not really getting volume, I guess, in numbers. So let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, and subscribe. I just got home finally. Oh yes. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.